So a question completely off topic, just quickly, and everyone will understand why I'm asking you this in a couple of moments. But when I explain, and I haven't even discussed this with Jenny, she doesn't know what's coming yet. But couple people I want to know if you're familiar with. I may have asked you this one once before, but are you familiar with Mike David from Red Bar Radio?
I am.
You are familiar with Mike David. Are you a fan?
Haven't. It's like 50-50. Why do you ask? Well,
let me get to your. Let me ask you about this other person I want to ask you about first. Are you familiar with Jesse P.S. from a show called Pod Awful?
No.
Okay. All right. I'm going to explain to everybody after the call why I'm asking you about that. It actually has to do with Tom Gully, but I'll explain the whole thing afterward. I don't want to keep you on the phone for this, but it'll all make sense.
Tom Gully is a joke to me.
I know you're not a fan of Mr. Gully. I know.
Listen, do you realize when he goes on to his show and he does his show, he destroys the people that call his show. Like he literally destroys his fans. And like if you look at his likes and then thumbs up and thumbs down, every show he gets about 60 thumbs down and 2 likes per show.
Right. Well, he's nice to us. Although
he's always nice to me when I call.
He's nice to Jenny. That's what really matters.
Aww.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a joke. He's a joke, but that's just my opinion. He knows and the best part about it is he knows that I think he's a joke, and like I've even called in, and people from my previous show called him and told him he was a joke, and it's just some of the content that he puts out there. Like dude, I don't care that some guy tried to make a zebra smoke a cigarette. Like that's not entertaining to me at all. Like,
wait! Some guy tried to make a zebra smoke a cigarette? Is that true?
Yeah, like he talks about things like that. Like it's not, but it's like it's funny. Like don't get me wrong, it's funny that the guy tried to make a zebra smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
But it's the way that you deliver it that's not funny. Like it's not entertaining at all. Like, oh well, I like smoking Parliaments. I like smoking Marlboros, and the zebra tried to smoke a Camel, and it's like, wow, what a joke.
See, I like his, he's very, very dry. He has and his sense of humor, his delivery is very dry, which I actually like, but that's not for everybody. Not everyone's going to. I think Tom's probably an acquired taste.
Well, I would say that the Unleashed show is very moist.
Thank you. You know, we go for that. Honestly, one of my goals with this show is to be very humid. I try to be very humid for 2 hours every day.
Huh?
You do a very good job of being humid. Maybe
thank you.
Maybe you're so humid that you cause everyone not to have congestion in there, and there's no need for a humidifier. Huh?
Don't sweat it.
Right. Don't sweat it? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Right. Well, we try to be humid, moist, and hydrated.
Especially
right. You just don't want to be soaked. You don't want to be soaked.
No, because that's uncomfortable. And frankly, I don't like the feeling of wet clothes.
Right. Mm-hmm. Very heavy.
Right.
Very heavy, weighed down.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Then you got to find a change of clothes, and now you're talking unsheathed, and just a whole different level.
Getting caught in the rain is like my worst nightmare. Some people like it. Oh, I love when I'm like out for a walk and it starts raining and you play in the rain. To me, that seems psychotic. I don't know why anyone would enjoy that.
Let me ask you this: in the summertime, in July, when it's really hot out,
in the summertime,
do you like to mist yourself?
No. Again, wet clothes. No, thank you. No.
But not your clothes. Like you mist your face. Do you like to mist your face?
No, that's weird to me. I've seen people do that. I don't understand it. No, I don't. I'm not a self-mister. How about you? Mist?
All right. Well, we're not that's a new one. Well, you're not a self-mister.
I'm not.
Jenny, do you like to mist yourself?
Not not so much.
I've never seen you missed.
No.
No.
Perfume, does that count?
No.
All right, then.
No.
No.
Well,
no.
what
Gotta
about
say nay.
What about you, Tony? Mist or no mist?
I got one of the bottles with one of the fans on it, and I like to mist when it's real hot out. And like, I'll mist.
No, maybe that's a Pennsylvania thing. We're not misters up here in New England. We are no
I
mist.
guarantee you, Easy G missed. I guarantee you he missed.
Most likely he does now that you mention it, because I can actually picture it. I can imagine him misting.
Yeah, he probably has one of the bottles like I do with the fan on it, has it in the fanny pack, takes it out at the bus stop, gives a little squirt, and he feels good for a couple minutes, and then he does it again.
Right, yeah. No, I agree with that. I can imagine that. He does seem like a mister.
You do seem to have that down pat there,
Yeah.
don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So anyway, I want to hear what you got to say about these two guys. So I'm gonna tune in on the other side.
All right, Tony. Thank you for the call, my friend, and congratulations again.
All right, brother. I'll see you on the airways.
All right, man. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, the great Tony D making a return to FM radio. Good for him. Very excited about that. Tom Blanchard apologizing. He says, "Didn't mean to be a jerk. Sorry, Tony." Oh no, Tony is beloved. I'm sure he didn't take it personally. Tom also said, by the way, you would like the Bob Newhart show. Yeah, because I like dry humor. Oh yeah, no, I
love Bob Newhart.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was reminding me of my dad.
I remember watching the original show in reruns, but I was a huge fan of Newhart, the one that was set in Vermont.
Yes.
CBS Monday nights. Oh, I loved Newhart. Great show.
It's my brother Daryl and my other brother Daryl.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah.
I love that show.
Fantastic show. Absolutely. No, so the thing that, the reason I was asking, Tony, if he knows these various characters, is a specific reason. And we won't spend a lot of time on this, I promise, because it is admittedly a little bit of a dead end. But, Jenny, you know, I'm a big fan of Mike David from Red Bar Radio. I remember I was listening to him one night while I was on the computer doing some work, and you came out into the living room because you were like, "What are you listening to?" Because you heard the Jewish music that that Mike David likes to play. So Red Bar Radio, he's one of the original podcasters, like from the early 2000s. He's been at it a long time. You know, before I've been at it a long time too. Like the only difference being, you know, Mike David is extremely far more successful at it. He's got this big following. He's out of Chicago. And, but before the term podcast was even being used, when we were still calling it internet radio. So he was, so I've been a fan of Red Bar for about 5 years now. I go through phases. I get kind of burnt out on him, and then I don't listen to him for a while, and then I go back to listening to him. So lately I've started listening to him again, and he's actually been a kind of an influence on me. Some of the way it's funny, you know, I do a political talk show, and yet my biggest influences are people in radio who don't talk about politics, really, like Mike David or Howard Stern, of course. Although Howard's gotten political lately in some instances, and Ron Bennington from Ron and Fez is a big influence on me. But so I was listening to Mike David, and Tom Gully's name came up, and he mentioned it in passing, and I was trying to figure out, why is he mentioning Tom Gully? And I was thinking about too, like this whole world of broadcasting, you know, with terrestrial radio and podcasting, you know, everybody who streams online and everything. In one sense, the world has gotten so large because there's so many people, there's so many different ways to create content now in media, whether it be live radio like what we're doing, or people who do it online, or both, which is really what we do. We're doing both, right? But there's so many people in the game now. Like it's something anybody can start a podcast. It seems like everybody has one, right? But, you know, there's people who just stream directly to YouTube or only do Facebook or whatever it is, however they decide to put their show out there. But there's so many people in the game. It seems like such a big world now. And yet it also seems like a small world because of the internet, everybody kind of has access to each other. And sometimes, these people intersect in ways that you wouldn't expect. So I heard Mike David mention Tom Gully, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. But Mike David was also talking about this other guy. His name's Jesse P.S. And if you're looking for him online, the way he spells his last name, it's P-S. I don't know why. I don't know if his actual last name starts with a P and ends with an S, and maybe it's a big long name, and he thought it would be funny to make it Jesse-PS. I don't know.
That would make sense.
It would, but I have no idea. And I've checked out his show, and I find him a little exhausting, but interesting. He does something similar to what Mike David does. But supposedly there's something between Jesse P.S. of Pod Awful, which is a clever name, Pod Awful. Like God Awful, but Pod Awful because it's a podcast. And but there's some weird thing between him and Tom Gully. And I was researching and trying to figure out what that was. And that's why I was asking Tony if he knows who these people are. Like, obviously, he's very familiar with Tom Gully. Apparently not a fan, and he's aware of Mike David. He's not aware of Jesse P.S. But so I was trying to figure out because Mike David and Jesse P.S. used to be friends, and now they're in some feud. And, I love a good feud. Nobody really does radio feuds anymore, but there's podcast feuds, right? I love it. I love a good feud.
I know. I like that, too. I like it when you cross in shows.
Oh, yeah. So Mike David is mad at Jesse P.S., and Jesse P.S. is mad at Mike David. Oh, and there's this other guy, Mersh, who's involved in everything, who's also a podcaster.
That's soap opera.
Yeah. But so then I was trying to figure out, well, like, what's the conflict between Jesse P.S. and our friend Tom Gully? See, that's what I mean about it being a small world in a sense, right? And I couldn't find much. But I found this. So Jesse P.S.'s show, Pod Awful, is available via Audible on Amazon. And there's this thing here. Now, I could pay the $6 to join this guy's, special club that he charges money for to actually hear this episode. I haven't decided if I'm going to do it. I don't know if I want to give this guy any money, this Jesse P.S., because he attacks our good friend Tom Gully.
But why?
Why does he attack him?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. But apparently there's a call. He called Tom Gully's show. Now, when Tony D does it, that's one thing. Tony D can attack Tom Gully, and that's fine because we love them both.
Quasi family.
So we don't take sides. We're neutral. We're Sweden. If it's, Tony D versus Tom Gully. Even though technically we should be feuding. We're supposed to be feuding with Tom Gully, but it's hard because we like him so much. So, but this is what was written about Tom Gully by Jesse P.S. He wrote, "Is this live? That's all it takes to derail any streamer. I don't know why, but if you accuse them of not actually being live, they will pack up their OBS and go home. In my journey experimenting with this power, I came across a few amazing subjects, often boomers, and many of them what I would refer to as fake radio guys. The dudes who have been pretending to be on the airwaves in their spare bedrooms to an audience of nobody for the past 30 years. One such specimen is one Tom Gully, a charlatan who claims to be on major network radio stations coast to coast, but in reality is just live streaming to one guy named Morty. That's not his only bold claim either. Tom Gully is so full of lies it puts him on a goon level with Mersh himself. By the end of this episode, we will uncover one of the most embarrassing aspects of this dental dynamo's life, his years-long battle being bullied by literal children. So, if I decide to pay the $6, I can actually hear the episode. I'm undecided, but...
It is quite the conundrum.
But then in my research, I also found this. There's a podcast called the MCL 771. This is really weird. And this is what I found this via Google, and I'll play this for you. It is. It's this guy. This clip is only a minute long, but it's titled "Not Calling Tom Gully." So here's the audio of this. This is really strange. Here we go.
Let me make something clear. You want me to call somebody, and you keep bugging me multiple times to make a call on somebody's show. Like Tom Gully. Well, guess what? I am not calling Tom Gully. You know why? Because it's a trap. They want me to talk some of the stuff that I did, probably promote my music, but I'm not doing it unless if I get payment of $1,000. But if you do not have $1,000, I will not do it. I have to have that payment of $1,000. Or I'm not doing it at all. So, yeah. This is just a quick podcast message I want to get out there. Because some people want me to call a random stranger for his show, the Tom Gully show. And I'm not doing it. And that's final.
So there you go.
Well, no, he told you.
Well, now
That's right.
Yeah, he's not calling Tom Gully unless
there.
someone pays him $1,000. I would call Tom Gully if someone paid me $1,000. I mean, you know.
Well, of course.
But we like Tom, so it's not like a great
It's not like
sacrifice.
we give anybody money to pay him.
Right, I'm not
I'm
yeah.
not that way, you know.
So I have to decide: should I try to contact this guy and find out, like, bring him on the show and find out why he wants $1,000 to call Tom Gully, or should I just let it go and forget about it and just move on? Because what if it turns into another Crazy Joe situation? Because this guy sounds
could
a
be
little.
fun.
He sounds a little. It could be
Maybe.
fun. Yes, we have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
I wish you would have explained this to me about 10 minutes ago, because I'm so into it right now.
Yes,
I would know, because we could have definitely dug into this. So I got an interesting thing here.
Oh.
I was set up also in the podcast world where people, all right, so the whole Tom Gully thing, the whole Tony D and Tom Gully thing was insisted by a radio station known as Good Talk Radio.
Oh, yes. Yes. He's on
So
that. Tom
what
is
happened
on that.
is when I was on the air, they grabbed my show and put it on their airwaves, right?
Yeah.
And then they came back and they told me that they were like a Christian-based radio station, and the things that I was talking about wasn't enough, or was way too much for their radio station, that they were going to replace me with Tom Gully.
Yeah.
So what happened was Tom Gully replaced me, which then started a war between both of us, going back and forth about the cans of mayonnaise and all that stuff, which then had his people start calling my show and then me start calling his show. But it is true, because the last episode with that dude, Jamie, I guess, PS dude or whoever it was,
Jesse.
Tom Gully had 167 people that I was like, wow, this guy really has a strong following. But then every episode after that, it went down to 2.
Oh.
So I'm wondering if that Jamie's dude
Jesse.
who called the show is that episode that's right there that's recorded for $6. Send me that link. I'll pay the $6 and record it and send it over to you to listen to it.
Okay. Yeah. I'll send that. I'll send that to you when we take a break at the top of the hour. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I'll pay for it, because I guarantee you that's why he had such a strong following.
Okay.
That one show with 167 people.
That's probably why.
Could be.
I tried to find it on YouTube too, but Jesse PS has been banned from YouTube. He's been deplatformed, so I guess he's only doing, the only way to get his show now is to pay for it. But yeah, I'll send you the link, Tony.
Yeah. I think I'm going to like this dude. All right, yeah, send it over.
All right, Tony. Thanks for the call.
All right,
Evil
sis.
All right,
people.
bye-bye. Yeah. Well, the plot thickens.
Give
Yes.
peace a chance,
Yes.
man.
Very, very, very curious. All
Although
right.
the fighting could be fun.
Yes.
Fisticuffish.
I got to decide whether to contact this other guy. It could be dangerous.
I think we should listen first
And
then decide.
Listen to his show.
You tend to jump in, and then you find out
Right.
later that they're a little bit off the rails.
I think we
from
already
that,
know
yeah.
he's a little bit off the rails.
I mean, we do know
Yeah.
about, Crazy Joe is kind of your fault. I mean, you were encouraging and
I tried to help Crazy Joe. I really did. I
tried to help a little too much.
I guess so. He didn't want my help.
No.
Oh well. Anyway.